Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I welcome all of you back to another Iron Maiden reaction video, where tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this is, as we are now after this, we'll be halfway through Senjutsu, and as I said last night, this album is going to give me a hell of a lot of problems when it comes to ranking every single Iron Maiden song from worst to best. Because this album is okay, maybe I think maybe it's I don't think there might not be a song on this that I would say is almost going to be my favorite Iron Maiden song of all time. But the problem with saying something like that is that just so far I think this has, in terms of albums, Senjutsu may be one of the very best on average. Every song we've had on here has the honor of being actually very, very distinct, but actually it looks like it could have come from any point in the 21st century. Maybe outside of Stratajo and Lost in a Lost World, because that again, the themes I talked about, aggressive expansion versus humiliation and retreat. A lot of things about warfare seem to be creeping up in this, including, among many other things, what happens to the next generation. Do the wars we fight on this earth during our time, what are they going to be fighting about in the next lifetime? Are they going to be fighting about the same things? What will there be to fight for? But again, themes like that is kind of, you're gonna have to we're gonna have to have larger discussions about themes like that, because there's too many and it's far too overwhelming just to cover in one video. Especially because today we are talking about Days of Future Past. Now, you do not need me to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because let me tell you something. 10 years ago, I was really, really into comic books, and especially into the X-Men, because not only did it have a very specific roster, so there was loads of characters to choose from Cyclops to the Beast, Wolverine, Gambit, and even to the Brotherhood, so from Magneto, Mystique, Juggernaut, Sabretooth. Some of my favorite characters from all of comic books are members of the X-Men, or the Brotherhood of Mutants, if you want to call that. Which is kind of ironic, because the Days of Future Past is, first of all, it's between this and the Phoenix Saga. I think it's somewhere. I think they're both as good as each other, because they are definitely among the best X-Men stories. Anything that had anything outside of involving Apocalypse, who, by the way, is literally one of the best characters that Marvel have ever come up with, including Galactus. Well, Magneto as well, but that's just here nor there. So, putting that into perspective, I may as well just also point out that how is it that the movies managed to do... They try to do the Phoenix Saga twice, and they still mess it up in X-Men 3: The Last Stand and the Dark Phoenix movie. How did they mess this up twice? I don't get it. But that's fair enough, because listen, Days of Future Past is by far, in my opinion, the best X-Men movie. That is, of course, if you want to count things like Logan or even the Deadpool trilogy, which personally I don't. I mean, Logan might I could probably maybe include Logan, because that's technically within the scope of the X-Men movies. But Days of Future Past is easily the best. It's got the best story, it has the best action, it has really good... I think even the inclusion of Peter Dinklage was actually a really cool choice. It was the first time they ever introduced the Sentinels. It was basically a really cool also clash between the original actors from the X, and then you got the actors from X-Men First Class, which I still haven't seen, by the way, but that day will come sooner or later. So what relevancy this has towards Iron Maiden, or whether or not Days of Future Past is referring to something different. I have heard this is more to do with Bruce Dickinson rejoining Iron Maiden in '99, but which we'll wait and see. Otherwise, I've just wasted everybody's time for the last 3 minutes ranting about comic books and the X-Men. So let's let's draw an X on this and get started. Let's go. Hey. Yeah, this has got to be X-Men themed. Judgment till the end. Does that mean that literally all they want to do is just go on now to the very end of time? Because it's not the first time I've even heard on this album the prospect of literally all these guys want to do is just go on till the very end of time, which, listen, if it means listening to Iron Maiden for like another 10 years, then you know what? I wouldn't even say no to that, because like I said, it's a more of a universal thing. Also because, well, when I first started listening to Iron Maiden back in 2018, is that I could sort of tell what attracted people to them. You could see that what they did was absolutely on their terms, and everything they did, that it made sense. These guys knew what they were, and they knew what they wanted to do. And bear in mind, that was just how it was. So much of it was, and I think this has more of a, in retrospect, Days of Future Past does sound absolutely that. I mean, let's face it, Bruce Dickinson coming back from cancer, and considering the sort of life he's had just already, fencing, being able to fly planes, a solo career, get back into Iron Maiden. I mean, getting into Iron Maiden in the first place. I will at some point cover Bruce Dickinson's career before Iron Maiden, because that's just enough. That's just an interesting little topic on itself. I mean, of course, Iron Maiden is absolutely where Bruce went from being recognized and respected to a global megastar. But then again, so has Steve Harris, Adrian Smith, Dave Murray, and Nico McBrain. So you can't really say it's one. It's this sounds like it sounds like a thing that they all wanted to write about, and I think giving credit to just one of them doesn't really sound fair enough. It sounds definitely more like a lot more hands were involved in this, specifically those who'd known each other for a very, very long time. So that's a really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. God, could you imagine what it'd be like if there was some sort of, somebody did like a Days of Future comic inspired comic, but it was featuring Iron Maiden, but then they would go back and they would see see all of the older guys. How do you think that would play out? That would be bizarre, but especially since Paul Di'Anno is sadly no longer with us. Yeah, I think as well that's also why I sort of want to cover a lot of early Iron Maiden as well, because Paul Di'Anno, and I know fine well he had a lot of differences with Steve, but he was definitely a part of it, and you can't really say he wasn't. But with all that being said and done, I hope each and every one of you have enjoyed Days of Future Past by Iron Maiden, and we are now officially halfway through Senjutsu, ladies and gentlemen. So get ready, because if the second half is any indication, well, the first half I should say, then part 2, as I'm going to be calling it, I think it could be devastating beyond words, because especially since Days of Future Past is actually the shortest song on this album, and I kind of had to stretch it to beyond 10 minutes somehow, but what can you do? So with that being said, thank you very much for watching, and I cannot wait to see all of you guys again in the next video. So take care, and bye-bye for now.